What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? Wow, a bombshell was dropped yesterday, and I am still trying to wrap my head around this. Because on yesterday's news, word came out that that University of Hawaii, will be looking for a new athletics director. Craig Angelos, who was brought on in June of 2023 as athletics director, is out. And his last day will be December 1st. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I just thought I'd come out with the purpose of this video. Now, I have some personal thoughts about this, and I will say this. There is a petition online, and I will include a link to this. So if you think that this is worth signing in your view, go ahead and sign it, and hopefully Angelos will be reinstated. Although at this point, it looks like it's a done deal. But before I get into all this, guys, just remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to, or if you just want to see some more of my games. And I will have another game up later today that I filmed yesterday. Or I should say Monday. And it's time that I come out with this video. I will give you my own authentic opinion about the matter, and I am certainly not going to talk ill of someone, because that's definitely not me. So remember, guys, subscribe. Let's get into this. Here comes my banner here. There it is. So a bomb was dropped yesterday as Craig Angelos, the acting athletics director, he's an at-will employee, which means that he could have been let go at any time. And at the end of the year, President David Lassner is retiring from the University of Hawaii as the president. Okay? So he hired Craig Angelos 18 months ago. Remember this, folks. 18 months ago, Craig Angelos was brought on as UH Athletics Director. And what was supposed to be a routine meeting for him turned into a complete blindsiding as he found out that he would be ousted and his last day will be December 1st. And I have to say this. A lot of people are saying, why here? Why now? And I'm saying the same thing. Why? Why? Why are you letting a guy go who genuinely cares about the student athletes, and despite having to find some employers from the mainland to help him out, help him out with his job? So he and you know all this. This is a guy who truly knows what he is doing. He got UH into the Mountain West, at least with the other sports like basketball, volleyball, and baseball, I believe. And he also has a deal with Nike coming in, and instead of being given a promotion or a raise, he's let go. That's like returning a lost child to a family, and instead of getting a thank you, you're getting accusations that you stole the kid. You see what I'm getting at here? And now there are rumors going around. Now, I'm not sure if this is true or not. There are rumors going around that UH football coach Timmy Chang and men's volleyball coach Charlie Wade will seek new employment if Lois Manin, who's supposedly close friends with the president, David Lassner, if she's the new athletics director, they will seek new employment. And for this to happen on someone who genuinely cares for this program, no. That is a sign that there's something shady going on. And while details are still murky, I thought Craig Angelos did a hell of a job as UH Athletics Director. if this goes through and becomes final, the University of Hawaii is going to ruin the best thing that could have happened to them. Take my word for it, okay? Because I can remember so many athletic directors who were probably maybe one notch, who were probably either just as competent as Angelos or probably two notches below that. Now, through the years, I remember Herman Frazier, he was athletics director, and then after UH football had their unforgettable season going 12-0 and getting into the Sugar Bowl, which was played in early January 2008, the athletics director at the time, Herman Frazier, did not do enough to keep June Jones, who was head coach of UH football, on staff. Okay? And as a result, June Jones left for SMU. And ever since then, the football team has been mediocre at best. And then, after that, they hired Greg McMackin. UH football went through a big lull, and then Coach Mac, as they call him, ended up going elsewhere. And then came Norm Chow, and what did he do? Not much. You know, he only logged 10 wins for UH football, and then there was probably their second worst season in 2013, where they went 1-11. And there were talks that the 2013 football season could have been like 1998, when Fred Von Appen was head coach, and the University of Hawaii lost all 12 of their games. And as a result, Von Appen was terminated as coach. Okay? And then came June Jones. And then his tenure ended after the 2007 season, which was very, very unfortunate. And as a result, as I said earlier, Herman Frazier was fired. And then came Jim Donovan. He came on for the next few years, from 2008 to 2012, I believe. Yeah, 2012. And then what happens? Donovan and several others were involved in what was called the Wonder Blunder, because supposedly Stevie Wonder was supposed to play in concert in Hawaii, and that fell through. So Donovan was placed on leave, and despite the fact that Donovan was cleared, later word came out that he was going to be reassigned somewhere else in the athletics department. And as a result, Donovan said adios. And now he's the athletics director for Cal State Fullerton. Okay? And then came Ben Jay, and he did a pretty decent job until he ended up leaving for personal reasons. And then came David Matlin, and I thought he did really well. The only blunder that I saw during his tenure, hiring a toxic head coach in Todd Graham. Any UH football fan will definitely remember the miserable 2 years and the probably biggest stain on the athletics department on UH athletics with some of the things that he said while he was at head coach. And believe me, you don't want to know the things that he said. And it's probably for the best, okay? I got to look at some of those things that he said. Oh, man, that made me almost lose my lunch, or at least lose my appetite once or twice. But that guy was a terrible hire in the first place, and it didn't take a genius to figure that out. And then came Timmy Chang, who formed the Brotherhood. And although the University of Hawaii has not gotten back to the glory days yet, the attitude of this team has certainly improved. And they looked like they were turning a corner until they got pummeled by Utah State this past week on the road. So what happens here, this is probably why, because Angelos, as I said, is a guy who cares for his athletes, and now he may have ruffled some feathers somewhere. I'm not sure if it's because of the moves to the Mountain West or if it's something completely related. But now the word is that he was ousted due to performance issues, okay? And like a lot of people in Hawaii, I am still scratching my head and trying to wrap around the reason why, because Angelos was doing one hell of a job. And it seems to me that if you want to be the athletics director at the University of Hawaii, this is how high the bar is set. It is set so high. They set the bar so high that it's almost impossible to be cutting it as athletics director. And really, the average person, unless you got a lot of connections elsewhere on the mainland, athletics, if you want to be the athletics director, take it at your own risk, it seems. Because really, like I said, the UH Athletics could very well ruin probably the best thing that could have happened to them. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I got nothing but respect for this program, and I am not trying to tarnish any good names, but this is just how I just give you my own authentic opinion, okay? What that man did was probably the most competent actions, was probably the most amount of competent actions I've seen in years. Okay? So, why would you let someone go when they're doing so much, when they've done so much good, and you just say, oh, sorry, it's not enough? And like I said earlier, that's like returning a lost child to a family, and instead of getting a thank you, you instead get accused of stealing the kid when you did nothing wrong. And Angelos was blindsided by that. You can look at it as Angelos is the guy who returns the lost child, and the family is less than happy, and they think he stole the kid. You see what I'm getting at here? So, there's also a petition going around started by UH men's volleyball player Kurt Nusterer, and he had said that he saw Angelos' car when he first arrives at UH Manoa at 6:30 in the morning, and he leaves at 6:30 at night, and he still sees Angelos' car there. The man works hard. And for someone to be given 18 months as athletics director is certainly not enough time for change to be immediate. But unfortunately, that seems to be the reality in Hawaii. They expect change. They expect change right away, like that. You're not going to build a stadium in 24 hours. And you're certainly not going to bring an athletics, and you're certainly not going to bring a football program that is mediocre at best up to the top of the stack in just one night. You have to give them time. You can't measure the happiness of the football team in wins or losses, just like how you can't measure the performance of an athletics department in just 2 weeks. Okay? So really, I really hope that the University of Hawaii will have a change of heart and keep Angelos in. That man knew what he was doing. But if the University of Hawaii doesn't think so, I don't know what to think anymore. It's just that high bar I talked about. It's set so high, nobody can cut it. You see what I mean? I really hope that they will have a change of heart and Angelos will be reinstated. So really, whoever's in the Board of Regents should really open their eyes. And despite the fact that he may have ruffled feathers, he's not going to please everybody. So you'll ruffle some feathers. You're not going to please everyone. That's the reality. but you have to give that person time. And 18 months is not enough time. Okay? If it was someone else that's affiliated with the University of Hawaii, they should be given a heck of a lot more time than Angelos was given. Now, granted, Angelos is an at-will employee, as I said earlier, which means he could have been let go at any time, as what my local news reports. So here's the deal. If this, like I said earlier, if this is a final thing, then the University of Hawaii is going to ruin the best thing that could have happened to them in years. And I sure as hell hope that Charlie Wade and Timmy Chang don't seek new employment if this becomes final. Okay? So I guess the only thing, but right now, details are still murky even as we speak. But still, this is just my take on the matter. If they don't like it, whatever. I did not say anything terrible about anyone. But still, this seems like a really shady thing that's going on. And I really hope that Angelos is reinstated. So if you're watching this, people, please sign that petition. I'll include a link in the description. So thanks, guys. And remember, subscribe. We'll see you all again. And I will do my recap of UH versus Weber State a little later today.